Looks like we're live, and I am going to remind everyone that tonight is the beginning, or right now, 8 p.m. is the beginning of 2 hours of marathon poetry. It is 2 hours of fire poetry. It is 2 hours of poets bringing their own bars. Welcome to BYOB Poetry number 13. This is the online open mic session, part one, where we bring all the poets together and we will be giving people the opportunity to perform without a headliner in between. That means you, the open micers, are the stars. So without further ado, my name is SoftSpoken. It is a pleasure to be your host today. We'll be joined later on by Akor, who will be taking over the hosting duties. And we will be starting straight away with our first poet. Now, this poet, to me, is someone who I haven't heard before as well, but has a lot riding on her as well. She is going to be our open mic our first open micer, and she goes by the name of Lily. Lily, come to the stage. All right, Lily isn't responding at the moment, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to move on to the next poet, and we'll come back to Lily later on. We're going to get started off with the godfather of poetry. I know he doesn't necessarily like being called that as well, but he is a poet where, I mean, if you're on the scene, you've definitely heard of him. You've definitely seen him perform before as well. And he is about to take over our stage once more and to raise the levels from the beginning. He goes by the name of the Lantern Carrier.
Thank you, bro. Getting organized. For we are in a night of struggle, a seismic shift created by the laws of cause and effect to untangle our inner challenges. The supreme alchemist works on our eyes and hearts so that we can see the dawn through a dark forest of desperation and despair. Fear and loneliness sing sad songs as insecurity and uncertainty hang onto the window, calling upon hope to shift this crucible of fire. Yet all is well. The bird of faith will sooner or later ascend on the citadel of the soul. For we are the sons and daughters of tomorrow's sun, glowing with 1,000 beams, yet to remove the veil, casting aspersion on the spearless jewel which we are, the songbird of perennial freedom. Summer's the precursor of winter. A snow-filled Christmas will ultimately fade in the fragrant roses of spring. Doesn't the ashen clouds eventually make way for the silvery sky? Isn't the darkness an antecedent to the light of day? Yet the shooting stars dance even as sunset heralds the sunrise on another glorious morn. I am in chains, seeking my flame as in the allegory of the cave, trapped in my self-created tunnel of shadows. Yet the beloved beckons, the light of the beyond who yearns for me like the prodigal son to return home. The breeze of solace embraces me, piercing through my mistiness of sorrows, cascading flames of an illustrious lantern, glowing in the dark, entreating, go on, go on. Hope chants verses of a candescent ray, diligently printing my mind of cobwebs. I need only to let go of the vice of negativity created by faceless words I read, ears tainted by the venom of rotten snakes on electronic devices, while Professor Zoom smiles all the way to his foreign bank on my account. Alas, my government are humans too, yet even while I scan their thoughts like an X-ray machine, searching for answers to another massive lockdown, love, in its mercy, continues to nudge my heart with sweet songs of happiness, whispering with Sachmo, it is still a beautiful world. It is not unusual for a bride to be cheerful before the wedding feast. Mother Gaia waltzes upon the lap of tomorrow, celebrating the birth of another victory. The rays of celestial splendor work the magic, and I know I'll be okay. I fade into a seed and take roots, sprouting into a plant, a tree with branches and foliage, offering my flowers, blossoms, and fruits to the impoverished, so that we too may love. Lantern Carrier, thank you.
Tell him again, tell him again, tell him again. It's the lantern. Yeah. Lantern Carrier, I mean, this goes without saying as well. You paint pictures with your words. How did that come about? How did this poem come about? What was the inspiration behind it?
I related it to lockdown. I have quite a few actually relating to SARS-CoV-2, and I wanted to express feelings of us humans. Like some places, for instance, I say fear and loneliness, sing sad songs, and then I talk about insecurity and uncertainty, hang on to the window. I'm really expressing human feelings during this difficult period. I begin by saying we're in a night of struggle, a seismic shift created by the laws of cause and effect. This is basically a global pandemic I'm talking about.
Well, you've expressed yourself in such a way that you know what, it just sets the scene for everyone. It sets the levels that we're looking for tonight as well. So just give it up once more, please, for the Lantern Carrier.
Thank you. You're very kind. Thank you. Thank you.
That was amazing.
I'm moving on from one legend to another legend, a former headliner for us. She hails from South London by way of I don't know where from, actually, to be fair. I think by the Galaxy.
Sorry to stop you there.
That's fine.
My mic wasn't turning on, but I've sorted it out. My name is Lily, by the way.
Hi, Lily. Lily, you're going to be on next, by the way, as well. So you're going to be on
fine.
The next poet.
No problem.
Coming up to our virtual stage next is the one, the only, the beautiful, the amazing Nilofer Nova.
Hello, everyone. Okay, so we jumped a few, I can see on the list, but that's all good. So usually I headlined, when did I headline, Abdullah? Like on the online last year, I think just before Christmas.
Either October or November. I think it's probably it's probably November, if I remember correctly.
So that was amazing. And to be honest, I haven't done any open mic since then, because this third lockdown has been the most difficult one for me. Like the first two, I coped really well, but for me, this one had a big, huge impact on my mental health. So yeah, I'm glad to be back, glad to be part of the open mic. Always love the BYOB platform. So I'm going to do something a little bit different tonight. Usually, for anyone who knows me, my pieces are usually quite hard hitting, or they've got like political context, but I want to do something different. And this one's in tribute to someone who I lost, who I love very dearly, and it's called Pink Floyd's Guitar. Pink Floyd's Guitar, Stephen King novels. You were not a football fan, but loved the tennis at Wimbledon. Benson and Hedges, gold, salt on everything. You made the best salad. Oh, and how can I forget the lamb chops? Licorice and tamarind, jelly and custard. Most of all, you loved everyone. And you were the kindest person I knew. You had paper rounds and wash windows. You hung paintings in Buckingham Palace, and you had your own barber shop on Garrett Lane. A thick black moustache and fair skin, a cheeky laugh, and the best sense of loyalty. The most popular member of the Red Lion pub and your mother's favourite son. You didn't pray 5 times a day, and when the imams came knocking to pressure you into attending prayers at the mosque, you were secure in your heart and told them you didn't need to visit the mosque to talk to God, or be a good person for that matter. Didn't they know you were a god in my eyes, the only father figure I really knew, and a best friend to your youngest sister? You holidayed in Cyprus way before it was trendy. You lived in Canada for a while with your rock star hair and big smile. God, they must have missed you when you left. But you came back home to us. You would walk in from work with a smile and a hug, rub your cold hands in front of the heater in the front room and ask, what's for dinner? You bought me my first tennis racket and we watched Big Trouble in Little China like 100 times. You had the most impressive jar of £1 coins on your dresser that I had ever seen as a child. You were beyond your years and ahead of your time. Your kind heart, your Canon camera, and your love for animals still holds its legacy today through your 3 beautiful daughters. Your story just ended too quickly on this earth. Your name was Mujahid, which means warrior of God. But as a kid in 1950s Britain, that was a hard word. That was a hard word for the nurses to pronounce. So when you had a short stay in hospital, they nicknamed you Jack. I miss you, Mama. I miss you, Uncle Jack.
Rest in peace, Uncle Jack. Well done. That is such a beautiful poem.
Well done, well done.
I think we can all relate to losing someone, but it's the specifics that you miss out on as well. So, not to give too many details because it's a friend of mine as well, but they were talking about someone that passed away in their life, and they said it hasn't really hit them, but it will hit them once they text them to let them know that the game's on, and they realize they're not there. One of those as well, like you talk about the £1 coins there, and so there used to be this thing where I would take £1 out my granddad's pocket and just go down to the nearest shop and try and buy something as well. And I always remember he'd always have like at least £1 in his pocket for me. So yeah, but rest in peace, Uncle Jack.
Thank you, thank you.
No problem. Can you give it up one more time, please, for the amazing Nilofer Nova?
Come on, Neela. Come on.
Okay, moving swiftly on. So from one former headliner to a special guest, in will be a proper full headliner one day, but we need to get him out there in public. I bring to you the wonderful, the amazing, the strong, the beautiful, and for the first time in a very, very long time, give it up, please, for Asim the poet.
Wait.
What's going on? I didn't expect that. I thought, yeah, okay.
I thought I'd give you a bit of a warning before you went on, right?
Yeah, a little bit of warning, but it's all blessed. It's all blessed.
Sorry,
Okay,
bro.
hope everyone's well. Hope everyone's with blessings and peace be upon you all. Firstly, just want to shout out Abdullah for giving us another opportunity to perform, giving us a safe space to be able to speak our hearts, speak our minds, and speak our souls. It's been a minute since the last time. I remember the first time we've actually talked about this, if you remember, back in the days, a couple of years ago, actually. But anyway, I asked Abdullah to give me a prompt for today. I've actually been on a downer, just like how Nilofer was mentioning. It's been a bit of struggle in the third lockdown. I've never been like this before. I've never been able to not write. So it's been interesting. I'm throwing this back. This poem was for someone else. Now it's for me. It's called How Are You? I'm often asked the question, how are you? I smile. The double-edged sword remains upon the appearance of the poet's utterances. But for that split-second moment, as a knight in broken armor, I am mustering the courage and the strength to hold back the stuttering before the choice of my reply. You see, with this question, there is a war that ignites within my mind, splitting. This is truth versus reality, hope versus pragmatism, fire versus fire. Both hemispheres are splitting, engage and rage in a ferocious battle, both representing thoughts which are conflicted. And guess who's the victim of this war? Even though I would always go and choose the victor, simply because the vast amount of people are not ready to digest the depth and articulation of a poet. Trust me, I know this. But for my character arc, I reply simply saying, I'm incredible, like the Hulk. But tell me, what's troubling your heart? For once, I pictured a contrasting outcome. So instead, I say I am amazing, pouring my inner illumination, metaphorical art as my tongue carves and caresses light into the broken cracked clay sculptures that stand across this museum called Earth. And as I reply in such a poetic form, she holds my tongue, speaks into my soul and says, my beloved one, your eyes are unable to lie. Speak your truth, I am here for you. And with this remark, as a single spark causes an eruption deep within, I am but compelled to finally let go as I begin. Thank you. I mean, seriously, thank you, because no one really stops to truly ask how I am. You see, Bismillah, I begin as I truly am not aligned with my inner being. Does this make me a hypocrite? Am I full of shit, as I tend to still paint this aura of vibrancy over my insecurities without having to truly understand the canvas of my heart? This shadow of nothingness consumes the workings of my paintings within my inner gallery. As my colors are fading, I am desperately redecorating, only displaying a shade of joy in its magnitude of truth and positivity, as onlookers and ongoers aren't inconvenienced or compelled to ask him, are you okay? The reality is I am in such an inner state, disintegrating, continue to decay, especially in my right page. I have begun to realize that the rotten traits within my past are within me. Does this mean the fruition of my own poetry, as well as the man I am today, but illusionary? My visions are doubts, now rooted within my monastery, question the sincerity of my prayers, and my spiritual state has become static. I'm attracting struggle in my body, supposedly my temple, but my foundation is shattered, repelling the fragmented piece, but I am not whole. I am full of holes. So when they say I am holy, they misinterpret me. It's told a picture is worth 1,000 words. Sometimes I feel like one big spelling mistake, struggling to translate my reality, but I am conflicted. So I go to my happy place, so I am spitting bars, raising bars, but I'm questioning, is it just my ego being lifted? The parts of me which are missing, filling in with this overthinking, and even to the point that clicking I receive on stage isn't for applause, but just they want to snap me like Thanos out of the picture. Okay, I know I'm going on a bit.
Tell him again. No, go back. Tell him again.
So I go to my happy place. I'll go to my happy place. So I'm spitting bars or raising bars, but I'm questioning, is just my ego being lifted? The parts of me which are missing, filling with this overthinking, that even to the point that the clicking I receive on stage isn't for applause, but an audience attempting to snap me like Thanos out of the picture. I mean, trust me, I don't want to go on. I know negative poetry, I understand. Even now in this poem, I'm finding hard to let go as I hold this at hand, but not for me, but for you. I cannot bombard you with energy or miseries and woes. The energy is hard to unload on someone else because of the struggles, the hardships, the pain, and the pause through. But she gently caresses my hand, as if she was reading the whirls, the loops, and the arches upon my palm. But instead of reading, she writes. She speaks. Beloved, I cannot express or attempt to understand your distress, but I want you to know that it's okay. She holds me for a moment. Without me knowing, she aligns my breath with hers, guiding me, exhaling the inequity and inhaling her ethereal words. And like the dawn, it kisses my spirit with life I had not known before. The warmth seeps into my internal caverns with each breath of hers like musk. And the mantra of year zero is repeated. Do not fear, Allah is with us. Repeated till dusk. And then she breaks my fast. Cradling my hand, she speaks. To sincerely question your own hypocrisy is evidence alone that you are not. So know your spiritual state is alive. Without struggle, how will you rise? Your third eye vision has been seduced by the eyes of the storm. I see your lens so blurred, let me wipe your vision. But as you continue to reflect, know to truly see yourself, you must need a clean mirror. And the focus onto your inner light, so hidden a life force which shines brighter within the dawn of the first spring. Take this in, your own, this gift. Give it to yourself by being present without grief, worry, or fear. You have understood your shortcomings, but have you welcomed your blessings? No overthinking, just taking the moments, surroundings, your heart, the mercy, the love, being ascended. So which of your favors of your Lord will you deny? Why do you think it's repeated, let alone just not mentioned? Know that you can be that hero, but to continue saving others, you must rescue yourself. Take this treasure within your chest. Your jewels of energy are drops of divine love. These were never yours to possess in your vessel. Be free. Pour out heavenly truths in a world of lies. Serve your love with cupped hands, distributing across mankind, for you are instrument of the Most High. Continue your works. Takes my words as a supplement. But to truly feast, you need the nourishment of the poets, the lovers of the agnostics. And about your heart, they will say the same thing. How else can love truly pour into a vessel without an opening, decant your universe? She taught me a broken heart can have light poured in. She is poetry. By writing this poem, my question has been answered by me. I speak light to my inner dark. So when I am truly asked now, how are you? I genuinely smile, saying I am incredible, like the hug. But tell me, beloved, what's troubling your heart? Thank you.
He's back. He's back. He's back. He is back. Give it up for us, the poet.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Bro, it's been far too long.
Yeah, definitely has. Yeah, it's been a while, man.
You know, they say give people their flowers whilst they're alive as well. Well, you know what? Yeah, no matter whether we're breathing or not as well, your words will live in infamy. Like honestly, when I have my kids as well, I'll be telling them to follow you and your pen is, bro. Like everything you say is always sincere. I mean, everything you do in poetry is just about literally you giving your all out there and just laying it out there as on just speaking the truth.
What it is, man. I think I've said everything I need to say. The thing is, the irony behind this is, like I said, I've been struggling to write. And I think I found my answer within my own poem that I wrote 2 years ago. So looking forward to going to see what happens next. Yeah.
We can't wait for the rest of the journey. And you know what? It's people like you that keep on encouraging me to be so active in poetry and be so active in the spoken word scene. And if it isn't for encouragement from people like you, I won't be where I am today. So, you know, going back to that first BYOB like a year and so many months ago to where we are right now as well, it's only grown because of people like you just, you know, encouraging us to open up these stages for everyone as well. So again, give it up one more time for Asim, the poet.
Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate it.
Now, moving on to a first timer, someone who I haven't heard from before, but someone who I am so excited to hear from. And she goes by the name of Lily. Lily, come to the stage.
Hi, guys.
Hiya, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you guys?
Not bad, not bad. We have heard a few poets so far today as well, and they've raised the roof as well. We can't wait to hear from you as well. But could you tell us a little bit about yourself, please?
Okay, my name is Lily, and yeah, I'm just into rapping, writing, acting, so all the creative stuff, really. So I've been writing like since the age of maybe 11. So yeah, it's just something I love doing, and I've been writing a lot in the last 5 years now. I stopped for a while, but yeah, now I'm like I've gone back into it. So just like to share something.
Can't wait to hear from you. Stage is yours.
Okay, so I'm gonna read it because I haven't memorized it or anything. Okay, so this is just about the pandemic and just something I just wrote. Tired of this life, struggling to stay alive, tears rolling down my eyes. They say big girls don't cry. Gotta keep my head up high. I will survive. It's not my time to die. Wake up and open my eyes. Time to unmask the lies. Let the children play and be free. Take care of your parents because they taught you how to walk with your 2 feet. Help your friends when they are in need. Don't ignore the old man begging on the streets. Baby, I know you got them chipped teeth and you like your morning weed, listening to grime and do a bit of MC, but you're still imperfectly beautiful to me. Still beautiful to me. The roads are empty, nothing to see. Go down to Aldgate East, shutters down, nothing to buy and eat. Cold, windy day, grey skies, no time to say hi, just goodbyes. I'm treading on muddy leaves, thinking about the deceased. Brothers, it's time to feed the poor. Join the local protest and roar. Time to wake up and find the key. Time to grow and plant a seed. Nature keeps me alive, helps me breathe. Peering through my window, it's rare nowadays to see a beautiful rainbow. The other day, my neighbor lost her husband. Now she's a widow. I know one day it'll be my turn and I must go. I know your uncle lost his 30 years of business and now he's on the dole. Keep holding on to God's rope and stay strong. Brothers, don't listen to the media who tell you to keep your windows closed. Wake up and smell the coffee and the rose. Sitting in my bedroom all alone. I'm on my own, but I'm still whole. Got me contemplating what's inside the rabbit hole. Do they want your soul? And I know Mrs. Know-it-all, but have you done your research though? I see you watching a show. You're on Teletubby land, Tinky Winky, Lala Po. They will hate to hear the facts because it makes the skull crack. They call MJ a whack, but he was ahead of his times, like boat speeding on his track. Who gives a speak up? It's time to end this tyranny, time to end this distancing and give our brothers and sisters a hug. Time to stop wearing the mask. Stop staring at me. I ain't in your COVID-19 class. Time to make a bust. Time to research on your past. Time to open our eyes. Time to see through the lies. Time to make some noise. Time to rise. Done.
Lily.
I just missed some of the bits out. I don't know. Maybe next time.
So we have a rule. So as long as we're on the watershed, so after 9 p.m. anything goes. So you can say whatever word you want to say after 9 p.m. So it's just.
No, I left it out.
Oh no! I know. But we got you for the next time as well. So
Okay.
yeah, wow, right. Welcome
Thank you,
to
guys.
BYOB.
Thank you for having me.
Least we could do as well. So yeah, damn. I mean, all I can say is the flow. Wow. I mean, we're all struggling with it with the pandemic at the moment as well, in every single way as well. So, you know, whichever way you choose to express yourself, please do so as well. And yeah, welcome to the family. Give up one more time for Lily.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Thank you. All right, moving swiftly on to our next poet. So I've just found out the next poet is Arab. I mean, I didn't know this. And she's just joined us again, so I don't know if her internet connection is good enough for her to be on next as well. But she has graced our stage physically. She has graced our stage online, and she's about to grace our stage online one more time. And a future headliner for sure. I'm 100% certain. Could you please give it up for the one, the only, the beautiful Mariam Al Fathi?
Wow, thank you very much. Please let me know if you can hear me, guys, because my connection's like bugging out a little bit today. All good?
Seems to be okay. Yeah, seems to be fine.
Perfect. Well, that was a beautiful introduction. Thank you so much for that. And give it up for the last poet as well. Apologies, I missed part of that because of the connection. But yeah, I actually want to shout out Meta Forest and Sean for giving me this prompt for this poem today. And the prompt was things that outlive the sun. So my poem in response to that is the moons that outlive the sun. The night sky tugs at our heartstrings. In their most naked state, their echoes ring, transcending barriers, reaching heights and decorating starry sights. Our souls, they have a fling. With the nighttime burning bling, the spiritual state that our beings erupt into, by enchantment that nighttime brings, makes me certain that darkness came in question first, before light was everything. The night held sacred our vows and promises, sweetness that penetrates centuries of sacred prayers, lovers reuniting with him and disclosing spiritual affairs, and solitude that serves the highest of companies. He told you I'll run to you if you walk to me as silent dwellers of the night. They operate on higher frequencies. When darkness sprinkled with spotlight is what you yearn for, you can't admire the sun the way you adore the moon equally. The night holds hostage our physical forms, as minds deviate from the daytime norms, seeking to find truths hidden away for centuries, reflections that reflect interdimensionally, visions and prayers revealing mystical stairs climbed by burdened souls shedding liberating tears. Painful thoughts buried in morning's graveyard they bear, dug up and revealed to him hung in nighttime's air. He said a plea made to me in these hours of dark, sincerely will hit like an arrow never missing its mark. Closeness in these holy hours and journeys you embark, they make worldly joys lose their temporary spark. When even sparking up loses its spark, I pray you turn to the highest for healing and guidance. This night is an invitation. This night is an invitation from him to keep your soul company through worldly silence. Meditation that leads to awakening and facilitating. Doors that rotate in waiting as you choose your path. Through the nighttime tunnels you travel. Destinations that are built when the moon shines, that the sun breaks down to rubble. It makes me certain that the moon outlives the sun to heal souls riddled with trouble. Thank you.
Give it up to Mariam. Give it up to Mariam.
Come on.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that as well. So you've been really active on the online spoken word scene recently, haven't you? How have you found it?
I've been trying. Do you know what? For the longest, I was just like, no, I'm never going to do social media. It's not my thing. And then Corona happened, and boom, here I am. And I'm learning a lot from the experience, definitely. Connecting with some great people like yourselves, and very pleasantly surprised with what the internet can be like when you see the positive side of it.
When you see the positive side of it as well, yeah, no, there's quite a few techniques out there on the internet as well. But yeah, no, the spoken word scene by and large mostly is just is full of just people who just wants to express themselves and have just beautiful minds as well. And thank you for sharing your poem as well. So give it up one more time, please, for Mariam.
Thank you for the platform, guys.
Thank you. Right, so this is a reminder for everyone who's watching us on Instagram Live. You are watching my screen, basically. So if you want to watch the whole show in full 720p HD, please go on to YouTube and go on to Facebook and search for BYOB Poetry. Bring your own bars poetry. We are live currently there and on Twitch as well. So please do join us. And moving swiftly on to another favorite of ours, someone who I've seen grow on the poetry scene. And talking of imagery as well, we've got so many so many painters of words here tonight. The next poet is just another example of another amazing person who just keeps on growing within the scene. Could we please give it up for the one, the only, Zara Ahmed?
Come on, Zara.
Thanks so much for that beautiful introduction. Big love to Abdullah and BYOB for putting these events on. It's been a real space of peace and space of solace during lockdown. Okay, so yesterday was Valentine's Day, which I hated because I'm going through a divorce at the moment. So this poem is kind of a love/heartbreak piece. One spring afternoon, a girl came across a butterfly, colorful and full of life, flying and flittering in front of her eyes. She was captivated and taken in by its wings and gentle gliding. She watched it gracefully move through the air, sensitive and patient to the other creatures in its surroundings. She was in awe. She walked through parks and paths with her new butterfly friend resting on her hand, every day her affection growing deeper, the sun's rays washing over her newfound love. For life, she was a hopeless seeker, but time, in its infinite wisdom, in its ability to scold and heal, began to shed light on the butterfly's inner workings. Bitter truths were revealed, seams unraveled, wings full of light and pattern became undone. The butterfly's exterior shone like 1,000 fairy lights, but deep at its core, in the crevices and cracks of its frame, lay a wormy, slimy substance, as if it had never transformed from its caterpillar self, as if it had never regenerated its silky cocoon. A vicious, viscous, slippery surface remained, masked by a vibrant, inviting cloak. The butterfly flew through the atmosphere, turning heads and time in its fleeting, flittering flight, never once resting upon the girl's hand, inviting her in to see the scars and fractures within. Now she walks through parks and paths, cautious and frightened of the next butterfly to pass, to rest on her fingers and promise her a world full of color. She looks for cracks and crevices within any passing creature. Now she is not lured by wings flittering and frolicking in the wind. Time has made visible that which was cloaked. The sun leans down, and in truth we are soaked. We are walking knee-deep in waters of hope, reawakened by those who see through winged rope. A noose, a heaviness burning our throats. We are granted lungs to breathe, no longer shall we choke.
Wow.
Yeesh.
Wow.
Woo.
I've never seen a butterfly in so much light before. Lord have mercy.
Thanks so much.
Rohan, this is why you're the poet laureate of this room, by the way.
Ah, stop it. Leave it out, mate.
But you know what? Let's give it up for Zara, please. Wow.
That was some powerful stuff.
Wow. Well done, Sarah.
It's amazing.
Thanks so much.
Sorry, go Madalena.
Oh, I was just saying, Zara, that was so powerful. I think in a room full of poets, when you leave everyone speechless, I think you kind of killed it. So thank you.
Thanks so much. That means a lot.
Zara, that was an amazing piece. I have to speak because you're one of my dearest fans, and I love you so much. And I'm sending you hugs and embraces at the same time. Everything passes, so stay hopeful.
Thanks so much, Landon Carrier. You're the best. Your poetry is gorgeous. Thank you so much for the support.
Thank you.
You see, this is why we love our scene. This is why we love our little group. Just everyone loves everyone else as well. Everyone supports everyone else as well. And you know what, Zara, like your poetry keeps on, like, it's so descriptive in such a way that, I mean, I'm a science teacher. I'm going to leave it to Aaron as the English teacher to give me the adjectives that I need to be able to describe how much I love your poetry as well. But thank you very much for sharing. That was beautiful. Give it up, please, one more time for Zara.
Yay.
Now, normally at this point in time, we'd actually have what would be close to our break as well. So we're actually going to have a few more poets before our break. So we're probably going to have 2 or 3 more as well. So just so that they're ready, I'm going to ask for Temi and Tina to get ready, but they'll be on after. A poet who's literally just unmuted for a second to let us know how much she loves Zara's poem. Madalena has performed several times for us, and she's, I mean, why do I need to try and describe her? Because I know her words will just absolutely illuminate exactly what I'm trying to say myself. Can you please give it up for Madalena?
Wait.
Hi, everyone. How are you guys? Thank you for having me here, Abdullah.
Oh, thank you for coming back.
Well, I think my poem kind of relates by chance to what everyone's been speaking about. I think we've all been struggling a little bit lately, and it's coming out in our poetry, it's coming out in our moods. And yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead with a small trigger warning about suicide, just to let everyone know. And yeah, I'll go ahead. This is called Days That End in Y. I have bitten all these bullets life's thrown at me, yet only spat back bars or petals. My friends say my 2 cents are worth a whole dollar, but I value my worth in pounds. I'm unafraid of bleeding words I spill before I even shatter. My mother taught me to be nice, so I learned to give, never ask, and always ended up short. I had to learn that the word no does not need to be followed by a reason, just like love. That there will be silences thicker than blood which seep through generations. How there are wars fought and lost every day, names of faces someone out there still loves, and one day, I too will be just a dusty picture. I feel so much pain on days that end on Y that I wish to end all my days. I am unsure what shakes more, my voice or my hands, yet that never stops me, it only helps me in dropping my truth. Truth is, I have considered suicide, yet I am so lucky it gets to be a choice. It is just that sometimes I wish I could unscrew my brain and go for a long walk, to look into the eyes of someone that I love and not write them a goodbye letter enveloped in a longing hug. That's it.
Give it up, please, for Madalena.
Thank
That
you.
was deep.
Oh, that
Wow.
was so deep. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for allowing me to speak, for organizing this, Abdullah. This is amazing. I mean,
This
to
is why we
see
do it.
you all, haven't seen so many people. Oh my God.
Like I say, so I don't think I've actually spoken to a room full of adults in forever. So not since December, at least anyway, at least in my mind. But yeah, it hasn't been easy for all of us for a while. And the strength for you to be able to express yourself, I think you're a lot stronger compared to people who want to hold it in. And you know, thank you for sharing. Thank you again. That was beautiful.
Thanks so much. And everyone that's been up to until now, amazing guys, honestly. Like, you left me floored. I need to pick up my pen. You guys gave me some great prompts, so thanks for that. With credits when it's due. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you.
Oh, you too, Madalena. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. We're going to move on to a newcomer to our stage. Now, she told us a little bit about her poetry before we got started, and I can't wait to hear what she's got to give us today. Can you give it up for the one, the only, the amazing Temi?
Hi, thank you. That was a nice intro, especially as you don't know me yet. This poem,
I'm waiting for the fire, so I can tell you've got the fire today.
you can tell. No pressure. So yeah, my name's Temi. I'm born and bred in London, moved to Birmingham, and I've been getting into the poetry scene there. This is actually my first online open mic, so I've not actually done like a live performance as such for a very long time. So I hope you enjoy it. This is called Painted Skin, because I'm really into tattoos, and then I thought of the concept of experiences being like painted skin and how life is a form of art. So will you keep a place for me? I know you're partly covered by the painters before me, but these pieces aren't done by me. See, I have a style that's different. I'll hold the brush by the end so I can paint gently. I'll take my time, just like the time we went on a cheap vacation. And time felt still, moving, but it felt still, like we were the sun and time was the earth and it was orbiting around us. I could paint that on you. But maybe I should draw in pencil so that someone else won't feel like they're not part of the story, the one that I know too well. You can go from frying eggs every day to frying your brain every other. And I heard all that emotional stuff, but it's getting harder to bother because every time I deal with it, it's just a matter of time until there's another. And I'm feeling like the other, the one that's got my shit so together, I could probably be a mother. And I people the so-called heartbreak, but it's less to do with me, more to do with self-love and the things you couldn't see. Friends dropping off, outside opinions, that's nothing to do with me. And these days it's more about making money and less to do with beef. And for certain type of people, it's more about money than Black people being killed in the streets, because this painted skin is dangerous and it's got everything to do with me. Who thought I'd look at nothing and then look back at us and see no difference, like I can't tell down from up. Maybe a tab on your tongue will give you luck. Maybe a half will get you unstuck from the vicious cycle, like an ex coming back like clockwork for the updated version. But I need that to stay far away from me, like subconversion. And there's a lot for me that I want to say, but I hold it in. That's weighty. But you didn't hold back, you spilled it all, and I took it in. That's crazy. And they say they see true colors coming out, and yeah, that's what it's been like lately. Because the hue was bashfully bright, but now it's looking kind of hazy. And now it's looking kind of shady. And I know your opinion of me would change if I decided to change me. But strangely, you were in love with the same me until it turned hazy, and now I'm too lazy to figure out what's wrong again. It's like, even though I've got perfect vision, I don't want to see 2020. It brought so much, but took from me. To get it back, I'd give a pretty penny. And this experience on me, like painted skin, is obstructive, like a job's worth. Between growing up, taking L's and losing friends, I don't know what's worse. But blood is too thick, please give me water. Or give me something so that my psyche will alter. And if not, I'll just go back to the time we went on a cheap vacation. and time felt still, moving, but it felt still, like we were the sun and time was the earth and it was orbiting around us. And I painted that on you. Thank you.
Hey, Femi, welcome to the family.
Goddamn.
Wow.
All right, so we're not only on YouTube at the moment as well, we're also on Instagram, we're also on Facebook as well. So the Instagram is basically just me recording my screen as well. But someone's just joined us from Birmingham as well. So do you know Ryan Dre Sinclair?
Yes, I do. I've actually done some work with him before as well.
Absolutely amazing. He was one of our headliners when we were last in person as well. So I think in November he performed for us as well. And as soon as you said you're from Birmingham as well, it kind of brought me back as well. And I thought, yes, we finally got another Birmingham poet with us. I know you're originally from South London.
I'm originally from London. Don't take London away from me.
I'm taking nothing away from you as well. In fact, I can take nothing away from your delivery, from your poem, from the content, from the flow. Wow.
Thank
Temi,
you so much.
Where have you been all this time?
I'm here now.
You're here now. Give it up for Temi.
Thank you so much.
Wait.
All right, so we're going to have a break in a bit as well. But we're going to have one more poet beforehand as well. And this is due to special requests. Now, I apologize, Sammy, because I haven't given you enough warning beforehand. But someone on Instagram, so it's Anaya369, just said, is Sammy Rhymes performing? She is so amazing. Well, yeah, I agree. She is so amazing, and I don't want to disappoint Anaya. So could you please give it up for the wonderful, the amazing, the fantastic former headliner of BYOB, Sammy Rhymes. Sammy, Samira. You know what? I think we're gonna have to go for our break first, actually, and then we're gonna come back for Samira. It's a bit of a shame as well. So we'll catch her after the break. So unfortunately, I think she might have some connectivity issues on her side. So we'll try and sort that out. And for the time being, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a 10-15 minute break for everyone to get their electrolytes back in, to go to the toilet, whatever they need to do. And we'll catch you on the other side. All right.
That's the science teacher of you, Abdullah.
What's that then? What, the whole
The electrolytes.
Electrolytes. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I can't help it. It's my day job, unfortunately. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to go for our electrolytes and we're going to go for our ions that we need to replenish, of course. So 10-15 minute break and we'll be back. And we'll be listening to the sounds of Poetica for the time being. This is Abracadabra. Welcome to BYOB Poetry Radio.
He said, my gift is magnanimous, flow is fantabulous, abracadabra for the demons who think they have a chance at grabbing us, and we stay protected from our enemies and nemesis. From Revelation to Genesis, we got next. There's no sidestepping this, we're setting this. Written in stone tables like Care Paravel, riding lions and unicorns, escaping from carousels, soaring the skies, exploring the night, pouring the wine libations and restoring the light. Searching for the missing note, cause I heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord. Sing hallelujah, sing praises unto the Almighty. You can try fight me, but like I said, I keep hedges of protection round about me. 8-winged angels creating a chrysalis around me. I christen this preacher, pastor and reverend in my bloodline. Rest in heaven, Leonora, grandma always had the punchlines. I punch rhymes and beat up the beat. I beat it like MJ. D. Grant told Mitchell I'm the woman equivalent to Penn. Say he breaks pens and fractures quills in the process. When seeing words on the back of his eyelids, super conscious, sleep talking with the progress. Some shoot rock, some smoke cess. Acquiring the lungs of a dragon like Merlin the magic. Maybe one should smoke less. Breathing the fire of Yah. Melting the outer crust of countless moons and dog stars to form swords to fight victorious wars in the cosmos. Extragalactic, autodidactic, we teach ourselves to overcome these battles, maneuvers and tactics, collecting medals for valor. Like a young woman I'm acquainted with. Scripture this, picture this, see the colors that I'm painting with, hues that you can't fathom. Grey to dark matter, I move like a phantom in the shadows of the dark side of the moon. Moving through portals and houses like Enoch saw, I'll see you soon. Transcending space and time, ascending as I place these rhymes in the core of your consciousness and your philosopher's stone. so you can relearn about yourself and God every time you dive deep in your zone, sparking memories of the future and premonitions of the past, extrasensory perception of the present so the concept of time will last. I chitter chatter and manipulate matter, see the forces of evil scatter from this Christ conscious rapper.
Moving swiftly on. The other side.
Shining,
The light.
glowing. I am light, so I fade back into it. Often, my aura softens hard foregrounds. My light merges with source sounds. I saw sound floating on it. Massless flying carpet. I saw sound, and it knew me from ancient times. Patient rhymes speak undiscovered languages from unexcavated cities, standing still in no time beneath the soles of our feet. The souls of defeat never make it to the light. Various shapes of shadows crept creepingly from the gallows to overwhelm the feeble and weakened souls that didn't equate deep enough with the rays of the sun. Me, the son and the daughter speaking puns over water to ripple divine messages of guidance to you. There inside of you are light beams waiting to come out and burst, blessing and cleansing any doubts, any curse. Angels that praise the Creator by singing those righteous symphonies and blinging in brightness skillfully. Your light is brilliant. Brightness listens when stars glisten, the same stars where prophecy is written, the same stars on which you be wishing, stardust dripping, cosmos gripping, liquid ambrosia sipping, burning flame in my essence, I be shining. I was born in the same moment as the sun, moonchild, phasing continuously. The light is within me, pouring from me. Luminosity transcends thee. I am light. I am shining, glowing. I am shining, glowing. I am shining, glowing. I am shining, glowing. I am light.
That was Poetica. Now, trigger warning for the next poem. This is called In Plain Sight, and it's by Miss Yankee.
5 women I know disclosed abuse to me this week. 5. Abuses of different kinds, all of which weigh heavy on my mind. Emotional abuse, covert narcissism, familial abuse, financial abuse, harassment, coercion, domestic violence, sexual assault, and rape. Taken advantage of whilst intoxicated, then blamed. Whilst the ones who inflict this pain walk amongst us with no shame. Hidden in plain sight. Actors playing the roles of their lives. They weave words like they weave lies, not batting an eye. Stay woke and apparently remain disguised. I'm calling out any man who turns a blind eye to guys who derive pleasure without consent, then blatantly lie. See, legally someone is too drunk to consent if they are incapacitated, and nothing you can say will change it. Wait. Shh. It's okay. Don't say a word. Now, why don't you stay still whilst my words overtake your entire being? You can't even hack the feeling that you're feeling as I'm reading what I'm reading. I swear I mean it with my heart when I say fuck your feelings. I keep seeing demons on my timeline disguised as divine masculines. Community champions, apparently balancing, but every time I see the face of a perp, I am unnerved, thrown off balance, faced with the challenge of a trigger. Imagine scrolling to see the smiling face of the so-called man who tried to kill your sister. They are never held accountable. They abuse us, let time pass and pass their abuse off as a thing of the past, assholes. Lying on themselves, scared to be exposed, smearing the names of their victims in the hope that nobody will ever know the truth. And should they be faced with evidence and stopped right in their tracks, they will make a statement, apologize and say they wish they could take it back. And others will back them with straight forgiveness and no challenge. It's just what happens. To his lies, they will listen. They won't question his version. And if they do, he will immediately become the victim. Poor him. Every man deserves a second chance. It's not his fault. He's had it tough. His life was hard. It was the drink. It was the drugs. He's traumatized. Let's lift him up. Pray for him. Act like there's nothing else to say to him. No weighing in, no questioning, no blaming him, no shaming him. Hell, if you can avoid it, then no naming him, no statements given. He could be out here raping women, but he's a good guy, so all's forgiven. Victims never forget, no matter how hard they try. Flashbacks are a hell that you will only understand if you have been a waking nightmare on repeat. A woman said goodnight and went to sleep in peace, but you disturbed her spirit and her peace, you piece. But you still fuck her, then that's called rape. Still the truth you cannot face, so you lie and deny. I guess audacity really is at an all-time high. It's like these guys are faking an honest life to a dishonest world. What am I supposed to tell my girls? That even though here in the UK a woman is killed every 3 days, we must be careful what we say about men. I can barely count the number of friends who have not suffered violence at the hands of men, but no. We must not question them, because not all men. False claims do happen. And if you really want, we can debate it, but they are extremely rare, making up roughly 3% of UK rape cases. And even those numbers are widely considered to be inflated. I don't hate men. I hate abusers, murderers, and rapists. There is a difference. That's a fact. In fact, let's talk facts. 1 in 3 women suffer domestic abuse, and 85,000 women a year in the UK experience rape, attempted rape, or sexual assault, and it's not their fault. Only 15% of rape victims report their crime, and less than 5% of their attackers are convicted and serve time. Yet, time and time again, we are shut down when we try to speak on these crimes. The numbers don't lie, so answer me this. If there are so many victims, where the fuck are all these men? And why the fuck should I stay quiet, and why the fuck should I pretend? How can you even ask me not to stop and question them? Brothers, I implore you, if flags are red, then check your friends. And whilst you're at it, check yourselves, especially if you legitimately care about the safety of women and girls. I'm calling out every man who stayed quiet when their friend should have been cussed out, questioned, and exposed. I'm calling out those who use boy code and the law of road to not speak up about the brothers who are killing, raping, and perpetrating violence against our sisters. I'm calling you all out, and I dare you to question my stance. I dare you to question these stats. I dare you to question these women. I dare you to question these facts. You can no longer rely on womankind to stay silent. We are healing. We are fighting. And together, we are rising.
And that was a poem from Miss Yankee. It's called In Plain Sight. Be on the lookout, please, for a new advocacy group called SoftSpoken, which will be there to allow for poets on the spoken word scene to be able to disclose incidences of rape or other kinds of sexual abuse throughout the scene. And before we come back, I'm going to play one more song, and it is Breathe by Woodsy, featuring Broken Pen.
Gotta breathe, gotta breathe, gotta breathe.
1, 2, 1, 2, said I wanna be free for at least 5 minutes. I ain't counting on these people in free fall, living backwards, that's evil. Second did that movie, that sequel. I'm learning on my journey, I'm still searching for my paradise. Trying to take a peek at you and that shit left me paralyzed. My boys, I had the weed and booze. I think I'll just grab a Sprite, that's not what I need to do. And I just need to manage my damage mind, vanish out. I'm thinking of it, never stopping. I'm just here, it's not near, but it's something. I'm not rushing, I'm just saying I'm impatient. I've been waiting at the station for a train that's never coming. That's like Southern and I'm stubborn. I'm not loving where I'm going, just a loser in an Uber, but I'm smoother than I'm showing. Growing up, blowing up, never knew I know nothing like the Beatles. Let it be in me and Penny, all of Utah.
I'll go wherever I want to see the world and all of its beauty. Just take your time, remember to breathe. Gotta breathe, gotta breathe, gotta breathe.
Masterpieces on my masterpieces, past belief, and I just started preaching from the recess on my heart and teaching bars are freezing cold like November in the Arctic region. Art just seems to be irrelevant to most these artists speaking. Aren't you breathing? Be thankful for the day you feel your heart release blood into your brain and you can ask for peace. BREATHE equals MC squared, that's energy. Food for the soul, I got the recipe. Beats and bars plus a melody, heavenly. Secondary school, I was in chemistry, trying to get the physics on point like it's weaponry. Breathing my demons are weak in pieces, my reason for being flow so immaculate. Even my speech is as deep as the sea is. And if freedom believes in the reason, then we will not cease to release this. My thesis, a genius retrieving the people.
I'll go wherever I want to see the world and all of its beauty. Just take your time, remember to breathe. Gotta breathe, gotta breathe, gotta 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 breathe.
See, let me tell you what we need. Oxygen from trees.
Listen to the sounds of Woodsy featuring Liliana and Broken Pen. Welcome back to BYOB Poetry. We are back after our break. Now that was a fire first half, but of course, as you always know, a first half is always joined up by a second half. I don't know what I'm talking about. It's been a while since I've been hosting, and I don't think I remember how to do it properly, but we are back. We are back. We are back. And we're going to start off with a former headliner, someone who has been gracing stages all over the world, from the UK all over to Malaysia. Now, this young woman has been at the forefront of the stage, at the forefront of the spoken word scene, and will be seen against, if I remember correctly, the whole of the United Arab Emirates, or is it Abu Dhabi? Can't remember.
Oh, bless you. Thanks for the introduction. It's been
Please
a while since I've shown up.
Well. Samira, you've got this. We can't wait to hear from you as well. Please give it up for Samira.
Thank you, Abdullah. So what you're talking about, that UAE thing. So there's going to be like a duet slam. So I'm currently paired up with somebody in the UAE. So we're going to be collaborating and writing a couple of pieces. First one's already on its way. And we will be competing in 5 rounds against another set of 4 duets. Both will be like one from the UK and one from the UAE. So my partner is in Abu Dhabi. And I just done it for the challenge. I love the idea of kind of tapping into creativity and working with somebody else. And with lockdown, like a lot of us, my writing game has been different. I've been writing a lot of short, snappy pieces rather than writing for the stage or writing to perform, because let's just be real, the stages have been shut down for a while. So that desire to write for others hasn't really been there for a while. Do you know what? I've changed my mind about the piece I'm going to do today. And that's only because you're just speaking about Miss Yankee's new things, Safe Spoken. So I'm going to do a piece on abuse, which features in my book as well, called She Married Him for His Beauty. Bismillah. She married him for his beauty, said he was a real cutie, a hottie, the type of guy you'd see up in the beach in Lanzarote. Beautiful on the outside, but his personality was ugly. And yeah, at times things would get ugly. Bruises, black eyes, and often bloody. But she never had the guts to tell nobody. He was a hubby, a lover, controlled everything about her and made sure she had no other to turn to when he beat her black and blue. Isolated from family and friends, she was destined for a bitter end, constantly threatened and struggling to keep it together, letting in more than she was letting on, hoping things would get better, but they only seemed to be getting worse. He would curse if he didn't swing for her first, and despite all the pain and the hurt, she decided to soldier on and stay headstrong. 6 months pregnant, looking forward to being a mum, but it wasn't only her that he beat. He was a cheat and went to lengths to do her wrong, yet somehow she found the strength to carry on. She was strong, holding on instead of moving on, because she was sprung and because he convinced her that she brought this all on. Of course, he was perfect and could do no wrong. It was only a matter of time before she caught on. As you can imagine, this marriage didn't last long. He's now paying for his crimes, doing time, and she's now long gone, buried along with her unborn son. Another young and gone because they put their trust in the wrong and a lost soul with no sense of belonging, disempowered and made to feel inferior, so besotted with his beautiful exterior that she never got sight of the interior and character that lied within him. His thought process was so sickening and dark, but she thought him being rough was all part of the spark until she got sparked. In most cases of abuse, relationships tend to kick off well and have a good start. But we need to think with our heads as well and not just think with our hearts. Be smart, take a step back deep and pick things apart, because red flags and signs always appear, even if they are not clear from the start. When we see those signs appear, we need to be strong enough to depart and walk away from what we think is love. Very few get to live on long enough to tell the stories behind their bruises and scars. Don't let the one you marry or settle with push you around, because sometimes one push can be a push too far. In this case, these pushes put one in a casket and one behind bars. Relationships these days are such a fuss. When it comes to weddings, we make such a fuss, excessive cost, and all for what? These marriages don't even last. People are breaking up more than they're making up and hooking up more than they're making love. They're faking love, having one night stands and they're taking off. Happy to knock her down, but flee when they knock her up. Then like Taylor and Mariah, they're left trying to shake it off. We shouldn't be marrying to tick off a box. We should marry to love and marry to trust. Not just marry for sex or marry for lust. Get to know your other half and get to know them well. Don't just think about the good spells and get distracted by those good smells. Make sure you've seen them on bad days as well. Get to know his friends and get that intel. Get those references and read them well. People tend to hide things and hide them well. Make sure you've seen them happy, mad, sad, and angry as well. Marriages should be beautiful unions, not a live-in hell. It's okay to marry for beauty. Just make sure there's beauty inside as well. Thank you.
Give up for Samira.
You went in, sis.
Wow.
It's good to share that. I haven't shared that enough.
Yeah, no, of course, it's one of those ones we have to address this as well. Like, well, I mean, you're coming from it from the context of perhaps maybe even from marriage or from like relationships, but things will transpire soon as well. But I mean, these things also happen within every facet of life as well. So even when we're talking about emotional, mental, sexual abuse, you know, every scene and every part of society has these problems and they need to be addressed. So thank you for sharing it.
Thanks for having me.
I'm just going to quickly share on the screen the Instagram page for SoftSpoken. So if you could please go to @SoftSpoken and add them, please. They will be opening up soon in March, and it is an important message. I mean, needless to say, but it includes us within the males, the males within us, the men within the spoken word scene, for us to also speak up. So please do support SoftSpoken. at SoftSpoken on Instagram, and it's being run by some wonderful, amazing people within the spoken word scene, and you'll be hearing more about it soon, hopefully. And like a slight change of time as well, and just as a reminder, because Sammy kind of flashed your book as well, but I think it's worth showing everyone else again. This is the book.
Do you know what? Due to request, the audiobook as well will probably be coming out for its 1 year anniversary. I haven't really announced it because Amazon just take the piss, really. So I've gone through different providers. But yeah, look out for that announcement. It might be out as early as next week, to be fair.
Oh, I can't wait for it. I can't wait for it because I need to hear it as well. Because you know, when it comes to poetry, there's one thing about reading it, and then there's another way when you have it in context when someone's reading it to you or performing it, because then it just gives it the context as well. So yeah, be on the lookout for that audiobook.
Blessings.
Give it up one more time, please, for Sammy Rhymes.
Woo, woo, woo. Thank you, thank you.
All right, and moving on to a newcomer to our stage, someone who we haven't heard from before, but has been performing all over the online spoken word scene. As soon as he came on, he was saying hello to a few people that he's seen before. Could you please give it up for the wonderful, the amazing Mark Rogers?
Hello, everyone. It's lovely to be in the room with you all. Thank you for letting me in.
Pleasure to have you.
So, he sits at the kitchen table, sun at his back. The table, small and square, he thinks dragged home from IKEA, but he's uncertain on that particular fact. Has condiments neatly arranged. Ketchup, salt, pepper, oil, Tabasco, mustard. English mustard. He prefers English. French is too dark and musty. Yankee, too gay and lusty. There's an ashtray too, though that is rarely used these days. Should he require a cigarette, he'll sit on the stoop late in the day, stare out at the night, wonder how he ever got to be this old. I dreamt last night, he tells her. You're allowed, says she. And he rubs his ear, left, to consider on that well-made point. Dreamt on my father. He was stood in the rain, crazy fool. Always stood in the rain, crazy like the raindrops might miss him. Not the sense to come on in. He'd stand in the rain, daring God to soak him to the bone. Drenched, shirt clinging to him. Not the sense to come on in. And she concentrates on the eggs that skizzle, crackle, sizzle in the pan, a pan blackened and flavoured by cook after cook after cook. Nudges an egg with her favoured spatula, broad, flat, bladed tongue, scarred and etched with cook after cook after cook. He's been dead 30 years, so Lord, he died younger than I am now. Man alive, says he, with all the starry-eyed wonderment that realization bestows. And he was outside the window, this kitchen window, and he jabs a thumb back of his shoulder to ensure she knew which window that might be. But she didn't turn to see. The eggs required attention, lest they burn and blacken, spazzle and spoil. In the rain, of course, stood in the rain like a crazy fool. And he was calling me outside, calling me all the way up and down. So I had no choice but to listen, like I should join him in the rain, like some crazy fool. And he stares at his own hands, considers the skin there, each line across knuckle and joint, the scars and niches he's collected from work and toil and behaviour unbefitting. Rolls thumb against index, senses each blemish, tarnished callus. His nails need a trim. their wondrous moons. Like as though there was something important he'd found out there, stood in the rain, something like he was calling me on, like I should join him in the rain, like a crazy fool. Yeah. And then I woke up. And silently she serves him a plate of eggs. He dollops a splodge of ketchup, marvels at the colours before him, thanks her kindly. She sits opposite, chooses not to speak, allows him his sensations, pours him his coffee, steaming, black as tar.
Hey.
That was amazing.
Thank you.
Good. Wow.
I love that style of poetry as well. So I mean, Zara is kind of the closest to it to what I've heard in terms of like stylistically the same kind of poetry. And she was actually asking in the chat where we can find your poetry. So please tell me you have a book out there.
Oh, well, if I hadn't realised we were selling things tonight, but I have got a couple of little books. One is called, all of my poetry begins with so, I just find it an interesting word. So I've got So 50 or So Much Better, which are available through lulu.com, or send me a message through my Facebook page. Shall I put a link on the chat?
Yes, please. Yes, please. We'll be adding that onto our socials as well. But I mean, beautiful imagery there, beautiful poetry. Please give it up one more time for Mark Rogers.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for the comments. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, this poet has been on my screen all this time and has been one of the most supportive people. I mean, just in general, in person and online as well. And, well, where can I begin? She runs Jolie Lick, which is not only an open mic, but also a writing workshop, which I've been part of just once, which is a massive shame on my part. I really should have been part of much more as well. And hopefully we'll be back soon as well. But has also been on Instagram Live and has led some poetry conversations. And I remember the first time we ever met was just about a few weeks before lockdown was brought back in at
Troubled Tongues. I think it was at the Jago.
It was Troubled Tongues. Yeah, it was at the Jago. And yeah, let's put it this way as well. Every time I did something, I was always doing something silly by accident on that day as well. And you know, I think our souls aligned that day. I think we're both pretty silly, aren't we?
Yes.
Well, beyond that as well, she's an amazing poet, and she's about to lay on to everyone here as well with such ferocity. Please give it up for the one, the only, the amazing Fausta Jolie.
Come on.
Thank you so much. I know when we met, I really felt like we hung out many times before. So nice to be here.
For sure.
And see some. Oh, it's so good to see everyone. It's kind of mad in a way that I feel like there's definitely been an underlying theme in a lot of ways, and writing has been a bit tricky. I've been working on different projects, but my own poetry, don't know if I've done too much of it. And a friend asked me, what do you do with your poems once you've performed them and they're done? And as I was moving, I found a poem that I thought, oh, okay. And it's probably 2 or 3 years old. And I think I put it together with another old poem. So see how it goes. I see you in my trachea, branched out near my heart, like the bubble honeycomb structure of the alveoli.
I'm sorry, I'm a science teacher. You have to start from the top as well. I love that. Oh, again. Do it again.
I was like, I said it wrong. Okay. I see you in my trachea, branched out near my heart, like the bubble honeycomb structure of the alveoli. Disrepute shot up through a boot, down the connective tissue of our doomed paths. Sit in wait for the storm. Eye of the cyclone looms, gathering traction. That equal parts humorous and distressing image of the lowing CGI cow on the natural roller coaster of destruction in Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's new disaster movie. tides forget your gardens. Heat burns straight down the line and tethers quiet streets. Bloodlight illumination, inherited delusion. Down the tracks of the past, don't want to hurry forth too fast. Percolating on your mandate, for what do you anticipate? Long lives led, luck plays a part, they said. More like the willingness to leap, let go, stay humble, stay grateful, say yes, and dream. Thank you, thank you.
Love that. Wow, wow.
You've stolen my my words. You've stolen my voice from me as well. You've said everything I want to say. The moment you mentioned Shakia, the moment you mentioned Alveoli was the moment I said, yes, this is my poem. This is my favorite poem of yours, Fausta.
Oh my goodness, thank you guys. You guys are all the best. This is such a lovely night. It's given me a lot of life.
Likewise. Please give it up one more time for Fausta Jolie.
Woo, come on.
So it goes without saying as well, and this will happen very, very soon, I'm sure. But when we get back into real life, or even when we have another online show, please do follow Fausta Jolie so that you can find out about her amazing workshops and her even just as amazing open mics. So moving swiftly on to a favorite who at the beginning asked if I could put them on later, and someone who's on my screen right now as well, because he is always ever present, giving people feedback and just supporting them. One of the most supporting people I've ever met on the scene, and also a former headliner. Unfortunately, it had to go online because of Boris Johnson, but please give up for the one, the only, the amazing, the wonderful, the beautiful Rohan Samuel.
My God, thank you so much.
Yes.
I forgot about that Boris thing, you know.
I've never forget him as well. Here's what I do. So, I mean, as a Muslim, we always have to do like something similar to rosary beads as well. Every day, I curse Boris Johnson. Anyway, let me not say any more because I want some funding in the future.
All right, wicked. So I'm gonna do a mental health piece, and this piece is called 100 Acres in My Mind. Deep in the 100-acre woods where Christopher Robin plays, the awareness of mental health is present in Christopher's childhood days. So what does mental health mean to you? Are we crazy because you couldn't latch onto our craze? Generalized as a stereotype from lack of understanding, and you call us crazy? To call someone crazy would signify ignorance because you don't understand that person's dilemma. However, if you understood that person's dilemma, would that mean you are now crazy? I'll let the honeycomb soak in a jar for a while. Anyone can have disorders. That doesn't mean they're in a disorder. I've known calmness and calamity, chaos and stillness. I've traveled 100 acres in my mind, and that was just my baby steps. I've learned to throw away negative comments like a woodchuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood. However, I'm still battling your sounds of deforestation. And you would rather see my Winnie the Pooh as fecal matter, but the things that make me different are the things that make me, me. Mental health travels deeper than 100-acre woods. The aches would alone be able to shake the woods. How would you know? How would you cope? If mental health wasn't just stuck in your mental, but transcended into life's caricature, and each character of life is a sound bite, so bite the sound and light the flame, and don't forget my honey, honey. Like a wise old owl said, if the string breaks, then we try another piece of string. But what if I only had one string left and I need to hold on to it, so I string my collective stability together like I'm trying to string words within these sentences? My dyslexia can't call on Alexa or chat to Siri, because my short-term memory loss means at times my memory's lost. But when society looks at you as a wise old owl, they'll expect for you to know more than an elephant. Don't think that the difficulty in interpreting words makes you less of an intellectual. Dyslexia doesn't equal loss of intelligence, and sometimes there's more education in the word silence than you could ever speak on. Those that speak with ignorant minds only pass on ignorant words. So we need to bounce on them like Tigger and bring Tony the Tiger as reinforcements to keep their word frosties they need to cool off. And don't wave goodbye at his coldness because he is bipolar. His mood swings like a child in a playground. But can you blame his rapid nature when the nurturing of youthful minds on mental health isn't moving fast enough? So when Tigger sings, I'm the only one, with a solitary smile, did it ever occur to you that even with his friends, he still feels like he's alone? And his ADHD may be a cry for attention, but you would rather focus on a disorder and claim he is disorderly in a world where he can't keep still because he hasn't found a place to sit in stillness. What does mental health mean to you again? You pick apart the piglet and intrude into his intrusive thoughts, then blame him for being worried. Burglary of the mind is a crime. And now he must avoid situations through nervousness, so he stutters his words because he's afraid of giving you the full picture, applying tenses to his tension, missing out on the fact that even the smallest of friends can be enormously helpful, because a little consideration, a little thought for others, that makes all the difference. So I will ask you again, what does mental health mean to you? Pay attention to the signs, because sometimes the reality doesn't match up to the internal, and you feel like Eeyore is giving you the donkey punch because it feels like people don't pay any attention. No one ever does. It's that type of lonesomeness that can lead to low thoughts and low spirits where you think you're pathetic, the epitome of sorrow. What makes you think anything's the matter? Hold up. Why should he be sad? It's questions like that that make me angry, not sad, because you throw a stick in the mud and your stigma mugs all sense of mental health credibility and you claim he's the jackass. I'm not lost, for I know where I am. But however, where I am may be lost, yet I always get to where I'm going by walking away from where I've been. Mental awareness needs to be even more than just aware. Have you ever been locked down or locked up in your mind? In London, we call that tier 5. Hearing screams as lullabies. Therefore, your only response is to scream back. Chubby little cubby all stuffed with fluff sounds good to the ear of the limerick rhymer. But that fluff is not allowing him to move through his mind with enchanted freedom. It's more like a pillowcase the notion that Christopher Robin away towards healing. Is your understanding of our abilities limited? Well, I know my ability is limitless. And if I have to order my disorders, I won't play with them like Christopher Robin. I'm more like Build a Bear when I build this bear up and rise out of the mud of your stigma. And I will never, ever, ever have to say, oh, bother. Because I'm aware of my mental health. The question is, how aware are you? That's me, bro. I choked up at the end, man.
Bro, I'm choking up for you, bro.
It's tea, man.
Beautiful, beautiful. Do you know what? It's almost like a reminder to yourself when you're doing your poetry.
Yeah, for real. For real. And it's
Okay.
important that we really plug to the youth, man, the importance of mental health and how not only just what it is, like everyone knows the names of it, but what about the person behind the labels, man? So that's me, bro.
For real, bro. For real, for real. I mean, we can talk for days about us being teachers and how we can see it within our jobs at the moment as well, but it's always been the problem. It's just been exacerbated by coronavirus, of course, as well. So, my man, please give it up one more time for Rohan Samuel.
Thank you.
All right, and a big welcome and hello to the 3 people who are with us on Instagram at the moment. Remember, if you want to watch this in even more clarity, please do join us at YouTube or join us on Facebook to watch this in 720p or maybe even 1080p. I don't know if Zoom have upgraded us yet. Anyways, I'm talking quite a lot of crap in between, so I'm going to move on to the next poet because this poet does not waste his words. This poet is an English teacher. This poet is eloquent and this poet is efficient with his words. And I know that already because he has to mark people's work. And you know what, with that in mind, I'm going to stop talking because I'm waffling at this point in time. Let's please give it up for the one, the only, Aaron G2.
Hello. Thank you for providing this awesome night. It's been really fascinating and interesting to listening all to this lovely poem tonight. So this poem is a new poem that I wrote last week, and it's about coming to terms with losing someone during the Christmas time. And it's called The Moon River. Swallowed up my best friend last Christmas. I'm still waiting for the day she spews him out, because I know he isn't dead. I sit by the river every Christmas midnight, catch pockets of gas that bubble up to the surface. They mean something. Like an underwater Morse code, they are rhythmic, to the same beat as Hosier's 2014 hit From Eden. Sometimes I imagine a pale brown arm shattering the water glass, your naked torso sliding across dewy grass, crawling like a speed demon, hunting me down for tonight's dinner. I wish that would happen. That scene came to me in a dream, but reality is much stranger. And if I stay here for another 6 years, I will fossilize into a block of sandstone, a relic prop for some influencer's TikTok, forgotten by all but one. If I stay here by your side every midnight, all the beautiful things I want to do with you will have to remain undone. But Christmas is all about hope. Thank you.
Oh.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. That was the second poem you had today about loss. So sorry to hear about your friend's loss.
Thank you.
Yeah. Poetry is one of those mediums where you can just really share what's really on your mind, and just like you as well, I think we've been reminiscing about loved ones a lot more recently because of how we are currently living with the current lockdowns. So yeah, but I've just got a message actually from our co-host. He unfortunately can't make it at the moment as well. He's just said, "I love the what you just said there. He loves the passion of what you did of the poem, and yeah, again, like I said as well, the efficiency of your words, it just shines through as well." So
That's nice to hear. Thank you so much.
oh, absolutely. We got to give you a flowers whilst you're here as well. So please do give it up one more time for Aaron. All right, moving swiftly on to one of my favorite poets. I'm not ashamed to just put it out there as well. And a beautiful and amazing soul in between all the poetry that I see anyway. Could you please give it up for another teacher, by the way? For the one, the only, the amazing Curly Wordy Louise.
Oh, thank you. That's so sweet. You're too kind. You're too kind. Can you hear me all right? Because I had some internet problems.
Yeah, we can see you and we can hear you perfectly.
Such great poetry from everyone, and I've been the same on this kind of lockdown 3. I've been so focused on other things. It's like I must get, I've had to force myself to sit down and do some writing, and so it's been really good. It's been really good for me to listen. So thank you to everyone that's shared so far. Brilliant. I was going to read a lockdown one as well, but then I was thinking, some people being so honest, that I think one thing that I've learned through lockdown is that sometimes telling yourself the truth about yourself and your own stuff that you're trying to deal with, it can sometimes be the hardest thing. But actually, if you tell yourself, then no one's really got any shit on you, supposedly, because you know who you are. And so I've learned that a lot through this whole year now. God, can you believe it? A year with this lockdown stuff. So I'm going to read the one. It's not a new one, but I've not read this much. I've read it just once at a live, but this one's called Own It. Own it. Own your shit. Hold the worms and own the can opener that opens it. What's the alternative? Leave it to fester way past its sell-by date, and it will slow you down at any rate. The more I thought to go forward without looking back, it became one mahoosive sack, made me slack. Roll back to 1995, I prioritised my education so I could lay escape route foundations to a better life, dreams of bolting it away from family chaos as I stargazed at the cosmos. Step forward to 1999, step forward to 1999, it defines the next chapter. Could a girl like me really be the first from my family to go to university despite adversity? Does my chariot await from this proletariat estate? Yes, but see, I felt like a fraud, and because I held my past so close to my chest, it was like I was wearing a bulletproof vest that ricocheted and resisted new love, new moments and new beliefs, because I still had childhood beef. It's like I didn't belong with the scholars or the labourers back home. I was in a nomad zone somewhere in the middle, not going forward, not going back. Own it, own your shit. When I took off my armour and let my family tree, plagued with divorce, depression, loss and poverty, be part of my fabric, I understood I wasn't damaged. I took a panoramic and I could see that no one has a flawless history. Own it, own your past and own your now, spark unrest and befriend the suppressed. What's the alternative? Let it manifest in another space and time, and it will unlikely lead to an ungodly crime. Integrate your heart with your head and speak of the path that got you ahead. Embark on that timeline and address memory lane, and you'll find that a bunch of us are much the same. Own the shadows and free your light. See that the struggle was worth the fight. Own it. Own the well-known and the unknown, but don't postpone finding peace with what was home zone. Own it, own you, and know that you owe yourself everything.
Yay!
Thank
Own
you,
it!
Yes.
Yeah, yes.
Tell him again for those in the back, please.
And then again for those in the back, for sure.
Thank you. Yeah.
You know
Thanks. It's so good being on again. It's really good. Can't wait for it all to be, dare I say, back to normal. But be good to just hang with people and see people live again, and you know.
And you know, you express yourself in such a way as well that even when you're saying things which, I mean, this poem was pretty positive as well. But even when you're saying poems where you need to reflect, for example, your bubbliness and your loveliness just shines through again as well. And yeah, it's good to share a stage.
I sometimes think that if people had, I mean, I did read, dare I say, self-help books. I don't know. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with self-help books, but I picked up self-help books at quite a young age. I was about 13, 14. And I think that if I'd have been able to pick up some kind of poetry where people could have spoke about, you know, their experiences and that they weren't on their own and that you can get through this shit when the shit hits the fan, then, you know, and it would have been put across to me in a way that was approachable. You know, things, you know, some of those seeds that were planted for me might have been planted earlier, you know. So, yeah, I do try. But sometimes you do have to cover some heavy stuff, don't you, in poetry?
Yeah, you have to. I mean, it's for your own self-reflection. I mean, let's be honest. No poet likes to say this as well, but poetry is really, it has to sometimes be kind of like narcissistic and about yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We don't want to admit it, obviously, as well, because obviously we don't necessarily think of ourselves like this as well. But actually, you have to deal with your shit. You have to own your shit. And poetry is such a beautiful medium of being able to do so as well. And
it's quite a good title for a poem. This poem's about me.
This poem's about me. Fuck all you guys. This poem's about me. It's not for you. Love it. Give it up, please, one more time for the ray of sunshine that is Curly Wed.
Oh, thank you, dude. Really good. Thank you. Woo-hoo.
All right. So from one dependable to another dependable, I can depend on these poets here to just perform and deliver in such a beautiful way every single time. This person is someone who just in my head came up as, for some reason, I was thinking of the Soulja Boy song, and I was thinking you were going to tell him spoken with vision. So I'm going to give it up to Romeo Marisa. Come up to the stage, please. Show him what time it is.
Thank you. I still know the routine, you know. I can still Soulja Boy on them.
They can't see me on stage on YouTube right now, and I'm definitely dancing.
When things open up, I'll dare it. Well, thank you for having me as always. It's a pleasure. This is my first open mic this year, so this one, it's a bit of a tongue twister. It's titled Dri Nyiriro, which in Shona means pressure. And it goes like this. Kupenya, Kwakapenya, wise wait up bofu. A shine so bright, you'd go blind. Kupenya, Kwakapenya, wise wait up bofu. Blindsided, unable to see the degree of pressure this diamond was put under. Crystal clear, but stained, inked using blood, drips and drops of things you fear, tattered, head to toe by tears you stored, tangled on the thread of gore you won't let go. Fragile, you seek for help, unable to take anymore. Grounded, deforming from the weight on the shoulders that Earth's gravity gradually drags the shoulders beneath the boulders created by the elders, transforming towards the core that melts your core to reconstruct pressed instructions that stuck, to reconstruct oppressed instructions that suck to reconstruct obsessed instructions that are dark. Al Capone when all alone. Elimination of enmity for the enemy in me to reconstruct that scarred face and pluck the thorns that hug your eyes, smoothing the surface you hide behind, reducing friction from old things fiction. Diamonds are made stronger under pressure. That doesn't mean they cannot be cut. A slice of any life is pressure in its purest form. Impurities are the entities of pressure you can't measure. Impurities are the entities of Zwiniro. Yangsinga Kwanisi Kuyera. Mazrita. Thank you.
I love your poetry. I love the fact that you always bring in Shona into your poetry as well. Just one more time as well, just to remind us as well. So Shona's from Zimbabwe, right?
Yes, yes.
Perfect.
So there's mainly 3 languages. So Shona is the main native language. The other one is Ndewele, which I don't speak. It's more like the tongue click.
Yeah.
And obviously English, everyone speaks.
I hear you on that one as well. Because I mean, the thing is, I'm one of those people who always wants to talk about how many people that he knows from different countries to kind of prove that I know a lot of people.
Yeah,
sorry, I didn't hear that last part there, bro.
I said, drop my name whenever you meet someone from Zim.
Oh, of course, bro. I was just about to tell you about all the other Zimbabwean poets that I know, like Desta and everyone else as well. I used to live with in Oxford as well. So shout out to you guys if you ever watch this. Yeah, I mean, yeah, when I used to listen to Shona when they were talking back in Oxford as well, it was just such a beautiful language to kind of follow as well. And I think within Shona, like when you speak it, like the diction sounds like poetry, doesn't it?
Yeah. It just rolls off the tongue.
Romeo, I love your piece, man. And I was about to say what SoftSpoken has just said. Anyway, nakupenda sana, Swahili. Sounded very similar to some of the words you said. Means I love you very much.
Thank you.
This is why we love the Lantern Carriers also. He knows how to speak the love languages all around the world as well. So Swahili, Shona. I bet you if you ask him to say some words in Somali or Arabic as well, he'll be able to tell you all the different words to express love as well, because he is love himself as well.
My universal man.
You are a universal man as well, in so many different ways as well. Thank you very much, Lantern Carrier, and thank you very much again for Spoken with Vision, Swathi.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, anytime, bro. And moving on to someone who I haven't heard, I don't think as well, but someone who has the word universe in their poetry name is also someone who I can't wait to listen to for the first time. Could we please give it up for the one, the only, the amazing Tony Peters, Tonyverse?
Hi guys. Hi everyone. How's everyone doing? Yeah, thanks for noticing the Tonyverse there. Most people only see the verse part, so they're like, oh, do you rap? And I'm like, well, I spit bars regardless. So yeah. I'm just gonna do my piece, and yeah. This one's called Period. I developed feelings for you similarly to how puberty brought menstruation. There were signs, but they were unfamiliar, so I simply ignored their sensation. Hot cheeks, sweat, increased hormones. Falling for you was adolescent life all over again, and when I saw red, I could no longer pretend. It wasn't anger or blood or malice or rage. No, it stood out like a notification, told of its weight heavy like a traffic jam indication. Yes, when I'm with you, I feel constantly warm. In fact, I feel damn near next to hot. And no, it's not that I cannot function without you. It's just that I know the difference between when you're there and when you're not. I'm constantly working to be the best version of me, as that's the only version I want you to see. It's the one you encourage, the one your love nourishes, the one you give space to grow. It's the one you inspire, the one that you teach is therefore the only one that you will truly know. You are my favorite thing, place, person and place. My worst days can be fixed by your face. My best song sounds better when I listen with you. You are the additional ingredient to my favorite food. You are warmth that is home. You are safety. You are a place in this world you are the place in this world that I would always rather be. You are not what makes me whole, but what balanced me in this tilting earth. And as answered prayers come in human form, they look only like you. The blessings that come down when my praises come up, come whenever you do. I want to stare in your eyes and understand your mind, know how to speak your language. I want to be held in your arms, to lay in your body. By your presence, I'll forever be enchanted. I yearn for your love that comes with tenderness, requiring gentle touches and unlimited togetherness. Your aura, your feel, your general presence make me feel relaxed while I'm simultaneously restless. You are my now, forever and always. There's no reason for it to ever stop. This thing goes beyond feeling like a teenage girl with a crush. Yes, this is serious, and this is only a fraction of how I can articulate my love, but this is my love, period. There you go.
Tell him again. Tell him again. A Tony verse. Amazing. Amazing. I'm sorry, but the thing that came up to my head right at the end as well, because I obviously teach so many like Generation Z kids as well. The TikTok where they go period into my head.
You know what it is? I wrote this before period became a thing. So
Yeah.
I wrote it like 2.5 years ago. And then next thing I was seeing everyone say, so I changed the way I delivered it because of it.
I hear you on that as well, but you know, if that's a 2-year-old poem as well, I can't wait to see your latest fire as well, because obviously that is such a fire start to your poetry. To what I've heard from you as well, so I can't wait to hear from you again.
Yeah, just
Make
follow
sure
me,
you
man. Follow me on Tonyverse, and I'll be back again. Thanks for putting this together. I really loved it.
Oh, absolutely. I wanted to hear from you again as well. You're here next month for sure. Give it up, please, for Tonyverse.
Come on, yeah.
Beautiful.
All right, we are nearing the end as well. So we have 4 more poets, or maybe 5, if I feel a bit inspired at the end to perform. But we're going to move on to someone who, again, is a newcomer to our stage as well. But as soon as she walked into the lounge earlier on as well, she emanated with sunshine and energy, and I'm sure she'll bring the same to her poetry. Can you please give up for the wonderful, the amazing Amy Cotter?
What a lovely introduction. Thank you, Abdullah. Thank you for having me. This has been amazing. Like, just, yeah, my mind is blown. I'm very grateful to be among you all. This is about confronting yourself, I think, and lockdown 9, whatever we're in. So yeah, I hope this will resonate with some of you. This is called Ready, Steady, Meditate. It's Thursday. The weekend approaches, despair looms, so it seems a good time to broach this. So I sit down with a cuppa, PG tips, chocolate biscuit, and equip myself with the relevant kit to fix this pre-Friday feeling of quitting, throwing the towel into the mix, admitting defeat. Predictably, all week, the mirror has diligently chanted the same mantras: speak, eat, freak out, repeat. But being enough doesn't seem to be cutting the morning mustard. It's certainly not toughing me up. And this fabled rest, the closest I can get is watching the deterioration of a wood pigeon's nest outside my window. So if that's the best my destiny can offer me right now, thanks, but I'm out, pal. All right, I'll try again now. Close your eyes, count the breaths. This and that app says, give yourself this time to reflect. Easier said than done. Then right on cue, here comes fear in her finest grim garbs, dressed to impress and make me feel less than the rest, as she flaunts her wares inside my head in HD, ready to remind me when I least need to feel shit. These feelings I've birthed, no one else, not really, just little old me and my shrinking self-worth. And like fading stars, my wits dispersed as my mind in 90s CSI overdrive prints posters of my marbles for the nationwide search. 20-something, female, Pisces, beware, likely to bolt, not microchipped. My scary faults I know I must accept. Even love, not brand bad and reject. But dread and respect tightrope together, teetering over skyscrapers. One confidently capers while the other wobbles, eyes fixed on the cobbles below. But we all know the drill. The show must go on. It's not over till Fear sings her last song, gets tired of sticking her nose where it doesn't belong. And I know it's wrong, but will this cerebral fog only clear when I'm gone? Help me then. Mindfulness, H2O, self-care. Give me a protein-packed, energy-infused, vitamin-stacked way out, a life hack, a prescription for a chronic case of existential lack. Okay, let's take a step back. Make me a strong coffee. I want a whole pack of biscotti. Now, I don't expect a contract, a dotted line, facts and figures explained in the mirror. Just help me out with some headspace and time, and I'll try and find some peace of mind. Thank you.
Woo, woo, woo.
Pause.
Amazing. That was amazing. You know, you're a natural performer. I knew you were going to perform amazingly from the beginning as well. And you know what? I wasn't wrong. I wasn't wrong.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate the space. It's brilliant.
Thank you for sharing as well. And speaking of strong coffee, I've been drinking this the whole night as well. So, I mean, it's not an advert for Starbucks as well. But yeah, you know what? I love poetry that goes with what's around me. I've got a poem that's about my vegan gummies, which are right above my table somewhere, which I might perform, not today. I'll perform at some point in the future. But the time being as well, this is the time for us to give Amy Cotter her flowers because she was absolutely amazing. Please give up one more time.
Woo, woo,
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Go, Amy.
We're waiting for you to come here next month to perform just as amazing of another poem. That made absolutely no grammatical sense. But as I said that, Aaron's face came up on my screen. And I feel slightly ashamed that I'm not using my GCSE English as much as I should do. Anyway, I'm going to move on to the next performer. So speaking of flowers, someone who just brings up imagery into your mind as soon as she starts performing. Someone who's graced our stage online and will grace our stage in person, I'm sure 100% when we can do so in the future. But could you please give up for the wonderful, the amazing, the person who was most requested on our Instagram just recently? Give it up for the amazing Oslem.
Hiya. Thanks for having me, guys. Okay. Wilderness walking. Every time I fix my eyes heavenwards, I am trapped in cycles of feverishness, heat taking control of my mind, requests from worried thoughts placated by divine constraint. In summer days longer than most, skin boasting a constant shade of sheen, short sleeves and bead-adorned arms, you will come to me like a fever dream. Those evenings that are never too dark. If 1,001 nights went past by and I managed to keep myself alive, I would call your name into the dark skies and commit my heart into the hard ground, water it with petals and let it grow. Let it be the tree that you will return to when you need the shade of sanctuary. Long days and humid space in the warm dusk. In your arms is where I will lay my head, heavy from heartlessness. Submit myself into your embrace, your embers, and sling my hair over your shoulder. Breathe all of you into my chest and exhale all the uncertainty into the air. Let my leaves cycle them into the west, the same sun that falls from the sky. Test the heights of you, love.
You.
Oh.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, I can't hear you. Is it just me?
I've just given you the most amazing like little bit of feedback on the agenda, and you heard none of that. I can't remember what I said.
I didn't hear any of that. Sorry.
That's fine. You know what? Please don't buy the Amazon Basics. Because it has like a physical mute button on it, which I forget is on. You should see me like 15 minutes into a lesson and thinking that I'm teaching all the kids. Yep. And me knowing that I haven't done any of my job as well. But I am going to do my job here as well and tell you that you were absolutely amazing. And whoever I just remember what I said there. Whoever is going to be the recipient of the love that you've just described is going to be an incredibly lucky person. Well, that was beautiful.
Yeah, did you hear that person?
You know what?
Yeah.
Here's what I'm going to do as well. Whenever you find that person, or if you have found that person as well, please play that back to them as well. That's a 5-star review.
I will do. Yeah.
Give it up, please, one more time for Oslem.
Yay, Oslem!
Oslem again showing the amazing variety of the poets that we have on our stage. And speaking of amazing, let's move on to a host of Shout Out Live, whose show will be on tomorrow on Instagram Live. She is nothing short of amazing and nothing short of what we talk about when we talk about Northwest London poetry. We are talking about the one, the only, the amazing Poet Pri.
Yay!
I don't know how to follow from that introduction.
Only thing I can say is as well, you know what? You just do what you normally do as well and give us some fire bars and
thank you.
rest.
I was actually just gonna say SoftSpoken brought up my open mic. It is tomorrow at 7 p.m. on Instagram Live. If anyone wants to come, we have also got a few spots open because we had interest and then people didn't follow up. So, but if you are interested in performing tomorrow on the AQ Arts London Instagram Live, please just drop me a message on Zoom, on Instagram, wherever, and I'm happy to set that up tomorrow at 7. So, onto my poetry. It's been a hot minute since I've come on an open mic that's not the one that I run, purely because my energy has just been so low during the second lockdown, because lockdown. I don't think I need to explain that any further. So, I did a workshop recently where they made us write a list of brilliant things as a poem. And I loved it because I like really simple poetry that's just very you see where it's coming from. It just has a simple message. That's the sort of stuff I write. And this is what I wrote as my list of brilliant things. That new book smell. That old book smell. Finding a funny note from 1987 in that book where Timmy is called a wanker. Basically books. Chocolate on your period. Getting your period and not being pregnant. Indian food. Homemade. Japanese tissue packets with cute characters. Notebooks. Tall glasses of cool water. Outfits that make you feel like a boss-ass bitch. Fresh strawberries. His wet lips. Tea that warms your soul. Understanding that hugs are letters tucked inside an envelope. A sense of knowing that arms are a place that you'll always belong. Chicken nuggets, not made from real chickens. The energy of good, honest poetry right here. Washed hair. Bubbles. Pizza. Toothpaste to wash the temple of my body clean. Hercules telling me I can go the distance. Animal Crossing. Taking off my bra, my makeup, my jewelry, and my clothes at the end of a really long day. And that moment when the covers engulf me, not out of sadness or sin, but because I am purely ready for sleep. And that's me. Thank you.
Yay!
That is you in a nutshell, isn't it? That actually I love that. I love that list poetry as well. You know what? It's nice to remember the things in our lives, the small things that we take for granted sometimes. I mean, I can't relate to the bra stuff or the chocolate during periods, but I can relate to a lot more.
Yeah, exactly. And it was actually a really nice exercise in reminding myself that there are good things in lockdown. So if anyone wants to do it, I highly recommend it.
Yes, yeah. You know what? Actually, I'm going to do that pretty soon as well. Normally, most of my list poetry involves my shopping list, and a lot of things that I love are actually things that I like to eat as well. So I am when I go to Tesco, I'm going to make sure that I write my poem and add a few more things that I can't just buy, like for example, love.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Bring in that intangible stuff. We love it.
Definitely. I'll try and pay for my groceries with love and see how far I get with them as well. But actually, for the time being as well, whilst we still have her, and please give her flowers because I can't obviously give it to her in person. Please give online love to. Okay, that doesn't sound right. But please give all your appreciation to Poet Pri.
Yes, Pri.
Yeah.
Okay, we are now on to our final poet. And this just goes to show how amazing spoken word is and just how amazing online open mics have been for us. We first heard from this poet in May, I think last year, and she blew us away. And we have been waiting for her to come back ever since then. By the way, this is an international poet. She isn't from the UK. She's going to beam her poetry all the way from Scandinavia. Can you please give it up for our final performer, but no less, the amazing, the wonderful, the ethereal, Alex.
Hi, thank you for that introduction. It's so nice to be back. And I just want to say before I start, I'm sending a lot of strength and love and everything for the situation that you guys are going through over there and the lockdown things. And yeah. Before I start, I just wanted to say that it has a potential trigger because it talks a bit about like negative sexual experiences. Anyway, and the title is Kintsukuroi. It's a Japanese word and it is like kind of about fixing broken pottery with gold and understanding that something is more beautiful even though it's broken or something like this. Okay. In order to hit the target, you must first paint the target red. The blanket is red. It has an image of a peacock stained into the fur, pretty and still. The blanket is fuzzy, thick. There's a violent softness. It is too warm. The blanket is now sticky. The blanket is now slick, clammy, slick, clammy, rolling over makes her shiver. The blanket covers her head. It is musty. You must hold your breath. The blanket folds over and tucks her in. Each drop of sweat sinks back into her skin and swells back up in alarm. Beep, 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 beep. Snooze. She cannot hear anyone. Can anyone hear her? At 17, she slips and falls back onto hot metal. Each shoulder blade steams, sizzles, blisters, peels off into scaly patches. Once, because of these marks, I was told I must have been an angel. But I looked back with a face like Medusa, like a dragon that used to be a heavenly body, singing, now spitting. The Mesopotamians say that no one comes back to the land of the living without a trail. No one comes back from the underworld unmarked, without being followed by dark wings, entities that cut ties to your heart, become a shadow for each scar. They seize me in my sleep. I can twist and turn, but all I do is sleep. All I want to do is sleep. But till I hear nothing and no one, the way nothing and no one hears me. But life is fast. I rush, I move. With it become something vague and blurry lines that don't stay where they should confuse me. And no one can tell, not even myself, that despite my age, I was still that child crying for help, and no one can explain the madness of a fully limbed body, dismembered in soul, limp body, sleepwalking over the seabed, back to that bed where she stays. Like property with each date, stamped by fingerprints that have long expired but cling to me, lash out at me, lick me like flames that reach out again and again like a curse. And wherever the hurt is, I believe there is truth in this, and that is where my home is, and that is where my love is. And she is looking for a way back, stumbling into, blinded by, sinking in the strongest liquor. Its force is familiar, soaked in something sickly sweet, saccharine, sticky, toffee, slick, clammy. Cover me with paper mache and tissue paper. Cover me till I look like something designed to split open. Without bleeding, the bat swings. Confetti crimes are not taken so seriously. And sometimes people do weird and fucked up things because nobody told them not to, that it is wrong and there are consequences to each action. My eyelids stay heavy, but they don't need to be closed to see night terrors in broad daylight. There's a barbed glint in all their eyes. Every time when I see him, I see myself, another Jezebel spilling holy water onto the floor. The blanket folds, I play my role. The tiles fall off the disco ball and stick to me. So when he sees me, he sees himself multiplied in each piece. I play my role and so does he. Both seek each other out. In every body they meet, again and again like a curse. Which one will leave first? When I believe sex is power and so does he, and it's all we have experienced. Yes, one must leave, but the ego is always feeding off its own hurt. It craves for more, and in stories of good and evil, love takes place on a battlefield. Everybody is hostage. Flames reach again, but I am an air sign under the sun and moon, earth in rising. There is no fire without me. Only if I stay and blame, the flames reach out like a curse, like a plague that has spread across continents. And Gaia is still holding Atlas and the world he made, carving borders into her back, stab at Aphrodite till she looks like something soft and pretty, like she has never known war, like she wasn't known before as Ishtar, who has a vengeance that strikes like karma, looks like Kali, giving her heart and cutting ahead, hunting the Helen. With fear that another city will fall, they seek revenge in a way that is divorced of laws that used to be earthly, emancipated from nature's womb. They became patriarchy. In the south, they call her Trokosi. In the east, Devadasi. Translated, both mean servant of God, but there is nothing godly about sexual slavery. In the west, she's never too young to start competing, to be crowned for beauty. Queen, your pain makes you worthy. It's only in the northest north can you find stars that never set below the horizon. There is a home that is yours, a love that is yours. Don't let your compass swerve. Unlearn. Remember your body is yours. It speaks, it moves, it sings when the wind plays a song on my dress. Lost in translation, someone might hear, yes, but there is no fire without me. I have taken my leave. Holy water spills over my head, pools up by my feet, soothe me while I unravel my story, stitch it back together again, lovingly, caressing each crack with gold. The end.
Yeah, I don't like to. Yeah, when it came to this girl, I didn't want to say too much. I was exactly the same.
Temmie.
But yeah, I think she just doesn't care.
Okay, right. So, wow, Alex, what a way to end. Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to read a bit from what I see here in the chat as well. So, the Lantern Carrier, as usual, sits there and is always observing and listening to the words here as well. And he was saying, my eyelids stay heavy. Nobody told them there are consequences to each action. The ego is always feeding off its own hurt. Amazing lines, brilliant use of nature, esotericism, and the gods. The addiction enunciation floats like the chords of a Chinese sitar in the lands of love's minstrels, soothing, caressing, silent, deep. Which is just, I mean, if you can find a better description, I can't find it myself. We've got, again, words from Amy. Oh my God, these classical references are stunning. Beautiful piece, so skilled. We love the Hinduism sneaking in there, says Poetry. Love the references to fire. The imagery is powerful. And you know what? I think I'll leave it with what Neelofer said there. What a piece to end on. Masterclass in poetry.
Thank you. Thank you. Wait, I'll just quickly write my Instagram here or something.
Yes, please. We'll add that into our socials. But I will say one more time again, because I think it's worth reminding everyone. Please do follow and wait to find out more information about SoftSpoken, which will be launching at the beginning of March, which is going to be a safe space for women, non-binary people, and marginalized genders in the spoken word community to find help and support in surviving abuse. So please do follow at SoftSpoken, and I think we'll leave it there. For those who are watching at home, this is the end of tonight's show, but for everyone else who is still with us from the open mic, please stay for our post open mic chat. But I've been SoftSpoken. You guys have been amazing. Thank you very much for tuning in to another BYOB Poetry, and we will see you again next month.